Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm in the office, taking care of business, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Hope you guys have a good weekend planned, some adventure, go do something fun. Let's talk about a funny, weird conspiracy that's floating around out there. And I've thought about this before. I didn't realize other people had noticed it. I thought I was the only one who noticed it. You ever had anything like that where you notice something weird and it just kind of makes you wonder, and you think you're the only one that's catching this, but other people have thought about this too, but nobody's really talking about it. I guess this is what the internet is good for. Finally found something that the internet is good for. You can connect with people that are going through the same thing that you have gone through, or noticing the same thing that you have noticed. So here's the theory. Tell me if you've noticed this. No one's ever seen their neighbors bring groceries in from the car to the house. And when I heard that, I thought it was silly. But what are you talking about? Of course I have. But then when I think about it, I actually haven't. And I had to think about it all the way back to my childhood. I can't actually verify and remember any specific time ever when I've witnessed a neighbor grabbing grocery bags from their car and taking them into their apartment or their house. I've never seen that. And I know they eat because, you know, they're alive. You gotta eat to be alive. If you don't eat, you'll die. So I know they're eating. I've had the same neighbors for years. I've never once ever seen any of my neighbors at the grocery store. And the grocery store is only 2 blocks away, literally, from where I currently live. I've never once seen anybody on my block ever at either, not the close grocery store or the far grocery store. Never once seen them there. I've never once ever seen any neighbor open the trunk or the back seat, grab a couple bags of anything, and go into the house with it. Never seen it. And I've lived all over this country. I've lived in apartments. I lived on a block in Hollywood that was very urban with high-rise apartment buildings. There must have been 6,000 people that lived on that one little tiny block. Never once ever. Never seen anybody bring a grocery bag into their house. So, you know, there's something to this, at least for me. And when I Googled it, or went on YouTube rather, and looked at, there's lots of videos about it. People are talking about this, and they're tripping out on it. So I'm not the only one. Thank God I'm not the only one. And I have noticed that before, or I've just wondered. I mean, it's not like I'm looking out the window peeping on my neighbors, but I've just never seen it. So one of the reasons why people say this happens is because we're all living in a simulation. And I'm not a video gamer, so I can't really explain it in terms of how video games are programmed and how a player interacts with that program. However, I do understand that in a sim game, there are characters where if you don't interact with them, if you don't go up and bump into them or talk to them or interact with them in any way, then their storyline won't enter your storyline. But if you do interact with them, then they'll talk to you or interact with you, and it may change the course of your whole plot in the game. It'll add information at the very least. The more you interact with, the more information gets added into your little story within the game. So according to this simulation theory and this game theory of life, we talk about life as a game. Some people get really upset and say life isn't a game. I've always thought life was a game, and it turns out might be. We might all be living in a damn video game like The Matrix. And the reason why you've never seen your neighbors bring groceries in is because it's not written into the program. I don't know. What do you guys think? Has anybody ever seen their neighbors bring in groceries? If so, show a picture. Prove it. I want to see if this actually happens. You might be able to escape the Matrix. If you've seen your neighbors bring groceries from the car to the house, if you've ever seen that, you might be the one. You might be Neo. You're Keanu Reeves. Food for thought.